Good morning. I'm going to do a video today that might be my first and last computer related video ever. I have a Lenovo Ideapad Flex 5, and when I went to turn it on today, I got nothing but a black screen. This is the second time this has happened. I had dropped the computer, and this area up here is a little bit different than it used to be in terms of there's like a little bit of a light shining out of this corner, and I don't know if I did some damage to it. So when I put the computer on charge for the whole night, popped it open, couldn't turn it on, and all I saw was this, a black screen, nothing but a black screen. The back light buttons were on for this escape button and also for the power button, but I couldn't get the screen to come on. So the first thing to check is obviously if you have a black screen, turns on, you have the fan, you have the whir sound, you might have the logo flash, and the backlights might be on. You want to check for the screen brightness. On mine, there's the F5 key for brightness down and the F6 key for brightness up. And the other things that I came up against were people asking me to pop open the back of my computer and remove the battery or remove the random access. And there's just no way that I was going to take the back of the computer off if I didn't have to. Although taking the battery off and leaving it off and then plugging it back in is certainly something to do. I'll talk about later. So we did the first thing. The second thing is power button hold down for a reset. Then we're gonna talk about using the F2 and FN buttons and holding the power button down. Then we'll talk about this thing called a Lenovo button. And then we'll talk about resetting the battery display. So step by step, holding the power button down for 60 seconds is part of what some people refer to as a static discharge. We do the same thing with cars and car batteries, but for the static discharge, remove all the cables, turn off if you're able to, meaning if you press the power button down and it goes off, hold the power button down for 60 seconds, then reattach the power cable, wait a couple minutes, and turn it back on. We do the same thing with cars when we want to reset the ECU or the PCU or PCM, power control module, or the electronic control unit or module, whatever it's called. The thing is, you reset it. So when it comes to that, I know a little bit about resetting an ECU, and it's very simple. I've never done a video on it, I don't think, because there's plenty of videos on it, and all it allows you to do is reset the computer in your vehicle. And then if you have problems with transmission shifting, or if you have a check engine light come on when you're doing a full tune-up, or after a repair or smog related issue, you can just do it anyway. But one thing you do is you disconnect from the battery the negative to ground and the power cables, you take them off, and then you connect them, and that allows the static electricity that's in the system to discharge. You can also turn the light switch on while you're connecting those two things. So whether they connect with screws on the front or whatever, you're gonna try and connect the metal part of the negative and the metal part of the positive to each other. And you can see this guy did it here with alligator clips. You can do it with a piece of wire. You just got to be very careful because this is dangerous. You want to wear eye protection. These batteries can spark and they can explode if you touch this to this with, say, like a metal tool, or with your hand, or even if there's water somewhere and it connects those two things and you touch the water, you could get shocked. So you want to be careful. But I think that's what they're saying to do. You got to make sure you hold that button down for 60 seconds and it may power on. I'm gonna skip past this one here, and I'm gonna go to this Lenovo button, which I didn't know what that was. But over here on the side is a very small button with a little helmet shaped looking thing on it. And inside that tiny hole is in fact a small button, and you can actually hear the button. I didn't have any paper clips handy, so I was very careful, but I pushed that little button in there and it reset something, I suppose. And it seems to be the case that when I did all these other things and I did that Lenovo, my screen came back on. I'm not entirely sure what I did, but this video here was helpful for this guy. Lenovo Ideapad Flex 5 not starting, battery icon solution, Rick's Tech repairs. And the reason I'm gonna replay some of his video is he jumped past some stuff and it was hard for me to understand. So first of all, he's using these keys over, up and down, and he's doing everything by using those keys. He's not touching anything on the screen. He goes a little bit fast through some of these things, and he's able to get his black screen to come on, and he believes it's related to a bug involved in the battery display, and so he's showing you how to reset the battery display.
Okay. Holding function F2, keyboard lights are now on. The screen's got the backlight going right now, yet I've got no activity. So I'm going to hit the power button and hold it again. There we go. So that was the exact bug I was talking about. So let's say once you get it turned on, go to, what we're going to do now is I'm going to hold down Shift, go to Power, and tell it to restart. So from here, what I'm wanting to do is go into the BIOS. So from what I've heard,
So he said BIOS. I don't know if that means the biography, like your information, like the clock and all this stuff is part of the biography, or BIOS. It's a term that I'm not familiar with, just like I didn't know what a Lenovo button was. I'm just trying to help some people who have the same problem I had, and he went through this a little bit quickly, but he hit restart and he went to choose an option. Then he's going to go into here to troubleshoot.
issue of it not waking up.
And then he's going into advanced options, and he went into the advanced options. Sorry, I messed it up there. Okay, he's right around here somewhere.
So from here, what I'm wanting to do is go into the BIOS. So from what I've heard, the
troubleshoot
issue of it not waking up
advanced
is also
options,
linked to the
and then he's going to go
screen
here,
displaying the battery life.
using
so
those
I go
keys.
into UEFI firmware settings, tell it to restart. That should go in there now. But yeah, that battery setting or the battery capacity showing up on the screen seems to be linked to it not actually wanting to wake or power.
Okay, so he went into that setting and he's got a control bar up here across the top, and then he's going to scroll down. So let's watch and see what he does.
Power up. So as we can see over here, if I can get my camera to focus for you. No, it doesn't want to focus. There we go. We go into configuration. 1 key battery.
Okay, so along that control bar, over 1 was configuration. So he just went over 1, and then he scrolled down to 1 key battery, and it says enabled, and he's just going to disable it.
When shutting down, attaching AC or knocking keyboard will trigger showing battery information. Hit enter, go disable, use the keys over here, go over to exit, and we want to exit saving changes.
Now, my computer looked very different than his in terms of how it was laid out, so his going through it that fast, plus things looking differently, made it difficult, so I had to watch his video multiple times. I also watched about 7 other videos, and it's been a couple of hours to get this computer to come back on. I was ready to go to a shop and have somebody look at it, which I'm sure would have cost me at least $100, So I'm hoping that this helps somebody. Again, I really don't know very much about computers, but obviously my screen is working, and it wasn't before, and it might be related to some damage that I did, or it might be related to this bug. I really don't know.
And with that, you should have hopefully fixed that pretty much annoying bug that seems to occur about 1 in 5 starts on this particular machine, or my individual machine. So I hope that helps you with yours. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Bye.
Anyway, that's the type of video that I normally do not do, and the type of video that I do is related to cars or feeding my dog. Meat sickles. So that's a meat sickle. That is frozen meat. It's a hot day, and he wants something to eat. So he's gonna be very happy. He's gonna chew up that frozen meat sickle. That's the kind of stuff I usually do videos on.